Top 5 reasons being an HVAC tech sucks in 2025. What's up, trade warriors? Look, I've been crawling through attics for 29 years, been running my own HVAC company for 15 of those. And let me tell you something, 2025 is hitting different. Real different. Before we get started, smash that like button and subscribe. Let's get into it. Today we're talking about 5 reasons being an HVAC tech absolutely sucks right now. I'm not holding back. This isn't some sugar-coated everything's awesome BS. This is the raw truth for someone who's been there, done that, and got the scars to prove it. Reason number 5, the seasonal roller coaster will drive you insane. Picture this, it's January, 10 degrees outside. Your phone's ringing every 30 seconds. Emergency, emergency, my furnace died, I'm freezing. You're working 80 hours a week in frozen crawl spaces. Fingers so cold you can't even feel the screwdriver you're trying to turn. Fast forward to July and now it's 110 degrees outside. Same phone, same panic. Emergency, emergency, my AC died and I'm melting. You're back to 80 hours a week, but now you're drowning in sweat instead of freezing your butt off. But here is the kicker. Those sweet spots in between, spring and fall, cricket sounds. Hey, remember me? I saved you in January and July. Maybe get a tune-up? Nah, I'm good. The feast or famine cycle hits you twice a year. Winter, I'm drowning in heat calls. Spring, please, someone, anyone, need maintenance? Summer, I'm drowning in AC calls. Fall, time to eat ramen and pray for extreme weather. And don't even get me started on the customers. January, you're a freaking hero, lifesaver. Here's a tip. March, what do you mean you charge for diagnostic fees? July, you're a hero again. Thank you. September, that seems expensive just for looking at it. You literally live your life in 4-month cycles of chaos and calm. It's like being on the world's most stressful roller coaster, except instead of fun, it's just financial anxiety and exhaustion. The stress of never knowing if you'll be buried in work or buried in debt. That'll age you faster than working at 130-degree attics. Reason 4, technology. Technology is making us look like dinosaurs, and not the cool ones, like the ones that couldn't adapt when extinct. Smart thermostats, IoT systems, variable speed refrigerant flows. What the hell is a VRF system? I learned HVAC when things weren't simple. You had hot, cold, and broken. Now I need to have a computer science degree just to diagnose why Miss Johnson's smart thermostat is having an existential crisis. The industry is evolving faster than a Pokemon. New refrigerants every year, new efficiency standards, new smart home integrations. And guess what's expecting to know it all? You. But guess who's not getting paid extra for basically becoming an IT specialist? Also you. I spend more time uploading firmware than I do actually fixing equipment now. My wrench set is crying in the corner while I'm over here Googling why won't my heat pump talk to Alexa. The learning curve is steep, folks, and if you don't keep up, you get left behind. No pressure, right? Reason number 3, customers have lost their damn minds. I blame YouTube and Google and everyone who thinks they're an expert because they watched a 3-minute video. Well, I saw on TikTok that I could fix this myself with a paper clip and some duct tape. No, Karen, no, you cannot. The expectations are insane now. They want same-day service, even though they waited 6 months to call. Miracle fixes for 30-year-old equipment. Everything done for free because it should be under warranty. You to work in a 110-degree attic wearing a tuxedo. And don't get me started on the online reviews. 1 star. HVAC guy showed up sweaty and dirty. Susan, I've been crawling through your dusty attic for 4 hours. What do you expect? A spa day? And then there's a price shock. What? $300 for a capacitor? Ma'am, that capacitor costs $30. The other $270 is for my expertise, my truck, my tools, my insurance, my sanity, what's left of it. But try explaining that to someone who thinks you're trying to rip them off. The customer service game has become harder than the actual technical work. Speaking of choosing the right career path, if you're having some trouble deciding what trade career to choose, check out Course Careers, free intro courses, where you can learn more about certain careers and determine which one would be the best fit for you. There are trade courses in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, construction project managing, construction estimating, architectural drafting, and supply chain coordinator. I have provided the link and the description and pinned in the comments below. Look, I wish something like this existed when I was starting out. Would have saved me lots of trial and error and probably some back pain. Reason number 2, liability insurance nightmares will keep you awake at night. You think fixing equipment is stressful? Try being one lawsuit away from losing everything you worked for. Every single day you're walking into someone's home with the potential to burn their house down, flood their basement, electrocute yourself or them, cause carbon monoxide poisoning, damage expensive equipment worth more than your truck. And guess who's liable when those things go wrong? You. The insurance costs are insane. General liability, $3,000 to $5,000 a year. Vehicle insurance for your work truck, another $2,000. Workers' comp, if you have employees, don't even ask. Professional liability, because apparently general liability isn't enough. I'm paying more for insurance than some people are paying for rent. And here's the fun part. One claim can destroy you. I know a guy who had a furnace malfunction 6 months after he worked on it, completely unrelated to his work. Guess who got sued anyway? $50,000 in legal fees later, he was cleared. His insurance covered him, but when they dropped him like a hot potato, now he had to find a new plan that cost 3 times what he was paying before. His monthly premium went from $400 to $1,200. That's an extra $9,600 a year for doing nothing wrong. Every phone call could be the one. Hi, this is my lawyer. My client's house burned down and you worked on their furnace last year. Your stomach drops. Your hands start shaking. Welcome to the HVAC Anxiety Club. Population, every tech, whoever's been in the business for themselves. Hi, quick break here. I've been an HVAC tech for 29 years, and the best way I recommend to get into HVAC without having any experience is through Course Career's free HVAC course link in the description. It will teach you exactly how to get hired, and if you decide on the full course, it covers everything you need to get your first job. The full course includes the skills to do the job and everything you need to actually get hired. And the number one reason being an HVAC tech sucks in 2025, you're always on call. And it's killing your life. When I say always on call, I mean always. Christmas morning, your phone rings. Your kid's birthday party, emergency call. Date night with your spouse, sorry honey, Miss Johnson's heat went out. There's no such thing as off the clock in HVAC. People think heating and cooling emergencies wait for business hours. Spoiler alert, they don't. And here's the kicker. If you don't answer that phone, your competitor will. And there goes your customer forever. The stress on your relationship is brutal. Your family starts to resent you. Your friends stop inviting you places. Your spouse feels like they're married to a ghost. I know this guy who's lost marriages because of this job. You love your customers more than your family, and you know what the worst part is? She wasn't wrong. Even when you're home, you're not really there. Your mind is always on the next call. Your phone is always in your hand. You're mentally calculating drive times and parts available. You become a prisoner to other people's comfort. And don't think vacations fix it. I've gotten emergency calls while on vacation in Florida. Can you recommend somebody? It's really hot. Lady, I'm 1,200 miles away eating a snow cone. But guess what I did? I spent 2 hours on the phone coordinating with the other techs. Because that's what this job does to you. It makes you feel guilty having a life. The 24/7 nature of HVAC work doesn't just take your time. It takes your sanity, your relationships, your health, your happiness. You become a slave to other people's emergencies. And the crazy thing, most customers expect it. They don't care that it's 2 a.m. on Sunday. They don't even care if you haven't even seen your kids in 3 days. They don't even care you're running on 4 hours of sleep. All they care about is their comfort. Yeah. That's my number one reason, because what's good at making decent money if you don't have the life to spend it on? What's the point of job security if your job destroys everything else you care about? The HVAC industry will take everything from you and then ask you to work overtime. The flip side, why do some and I still do it? Now look, I'm not going to try to scare everyone away from HVAC despite everything I just said. Some people love this work. The problem-solving aspect is real. Every call is different. The satisfaction of fixing something that's broken, that's genuine. And there are good companies out there, companies that actually care about their employees, provide real training and development, offer decent benefits, respect your work-life balance. Novel concept. I know. The successful techs I know fall into 3 categories. They found a great company, rare, but they exist. They went into business for themselves, like me. They specialized in high-end commercial work. Commercial HVAC is where the real money is, by the way. Hospitals, data centers, big office buildings. That's $30 to $50 an hour territory, but you need serious skills and certifications to get there. If you like working with your hands, solving problems, and want a career that offers great pay, stability, and freedom, HVAC is one of the best trades to get into without a degree or prior experience. Skilled HVAC techs are in demand everywhere, and many even get a company truck. But if you're still unsure, talk to Coura. This is Course Career's new AI career counselor. Coura will help you decide if HVAC fits your goals, and then you can start the free intro course it suggests. Just like students across multiple industries have used to break into high-paying careers fast without any experience or college degree. The intro course will show you exactly what the job is like day to day and teach you how to get hired within 4 to 12 weeks. I'll leave the link in the description and pinned in the comments below for you to check out. Let me break down what HVAC actually involves because most people think we just fix air conditioners. HVAC tech responsibilities: install and repair heating systems, install and repair cooling systems, maintain ventilation systems, diagnose electrical problems, work with refrigerants, requires an EPA certification, read blueprints, schematics, use diagnostic equipment and tools. Required skills and qualifications: EPA 608 certification, mandatory refrigerant work, HVAC trade school or apprenticeship, understanding of electrical systems, mechanical aptitude, physical stamina. Seriously, this matters. Problem-solving skills, customer service skills, unfortunately. Salary ranges: entry level, $30K to $35K plus annually. Experienced techs, $45K to $60K plus annually. Specialized commercial, $60K to $80K plus annually. Business owners, sky's the limit, but you also have the floor if you are bad at running a business. Job outlook: the Bureau of Labor Statistics say HVAC jobs will grow 13% through 2032. That's faster than average. Why? Buildings aren't getting any younger. Climate change equals more AC and heating usage. Energy efficiency upgrades are mandatory now. So yeah, there's job security, success stories, and inspiration. Look, I don't want to end this all doom and gloom because I've seen some incredible success stories. My buddy Mike started as an apprentice making $12 an hour. 15 years later, he owns 3 HVAC companies and makes more than most lawyers. Sarah, from my trade school classes, she specialized in high efficiency systems and green technology. Now she's making $120K a year working for a major hospital system. Never stopped learning. New refrigerants, updated codes, emerging technologies. Build relationships. Good customers become repeat customers. Referrals are worth their weight in gold. The positive impact: when you think about it, we keep people comfortable. Hospitals run smoothly. Data centers that power the internet. Schools where kids can actually learn instead of melting. That's not nothing, folks. We're literally the people who make modern life possible. Every time someone says, "Thank goodness for air conditioning," that's because of what we do. So there you have it. 5 reasons the HVAC techs suck in 2025. Your body pays the price. Technology is moving too fast. Customers have unrealistic expectations. The money isn't always what they promised. And the industry treats you like you're replaceable. But here's my real advice. If you're thinking about getting into HVAC, ask yourself these questions. Can you handle the physical work that will beat up your body? Are you willing to constantly learn new technologies? Can you deal with difficult people while staying professional? Are you prepared for inconsistent income? If you've answered yes to all of those, and you can find a good company or have the guts to start your own business, maybe, and just maybe, this crazy industry might work for you. But go in with your eyes wide open. If this video helped you, smash that like button. If you want more unfiltered trade career advice, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And here's your trade joke for the day. A customer calls the HVAC tech and says, "My air conditioner's making a weird noise." The tech asks, "What kind of noise?" The customer says, "It sounds like my ex-wife." The tech replies, "Oh, that's easy to fix. Just ignore it and eventually it'll all stop working completely." Peace out.